What's up, world? It's your homegirl Ivy, and this is once again another segment of Ivy Speaks, a little section of Welcome to the Raw Zone where we get to really talk to the movers, the shakers, but of course the people that make the changes in their community, whether they're in New York, whether they're, Georgia, Atlanta, wherever you're from. We want to talk about you. Our guest here today is entrepreneur Betty Ceus. I hope I said your name right. She is the CEO of Natural Bunch Kids Hair Care. She's a single mom of two who's been an educator in the child care industry for 15 years. In 2016, she noticed the struggles her parents shared with their children's hair and her own difficulties finding quality hair care products for her own daughter led her on an additional entrepreneur path. With love for her children, it launched Natural Bunch Kids Hair Care. Betty then pursued her stylist license in 2017. Natural Bunch Kids is a children's hair care line that empowers children with diverse hair textures to love their hair. Natural Bunch Kids Hair Care also provides solutions that assist parents in increasing mixture retention and promotes healthy hair growth. So I like to introduce to you Miss Betty. Yay!
Hi, everyone. How are you?
We're great. We're great. I am so glad to sit with you. We chopped it up for a few minutes about the educational system before. We'll get back to that later, obviously. Through any segment we do here, we always do like our highs and lows. So, what were your highs for this week? What were your lows for this week? A little check in.
Okay. Well, my highs this week was actually accomplishing a big project of mine. We're launching a online library, so that was an undertaking. So we were able to finalize everything and getting ready to launch that.
Is that the one that's on the website right now?
It's no, the library is not yet launched, so it's not on the website. No. So this
Okay, because
library will. Go ahead.
when I went on your website, I saw like books that had titles for hair care, and
Okay.
so that's why I thought that was the same thing.
Okay. So no. So it is launch. Okay. I had a later date, so it actually is launch. All right. Awesome. Yes, it is. It's basically a library of different hair books that I fell in love with. I know that a lot of young girls, girls in general with natural hair, will definitely enjoy reading, and so decided to incorporate my teaching skills into my education into the brand itself. You know what I mean? I think going into the summer, it's great reads. Um, so it's a lot of wonderful books that I recommend.
So, being that you are an educator, right? How were you able to blend both worlds together?
It was easy for me. Um, Working with children has been something that comes very natural for me. It's a passion. So, merging the brand and my education, the background, it was seamless. Creating themes, creating a fun, brand that wasn't just about bottles. It's more about education. So it was a marriage. It wasn't an easy marriage, actually. So it wasn't a difficult thing at all.
That's really awesome. Um, what was the process like doing the entire thing? A lot of trial and error, I'm assuming.
Yes, because we went from brick and mortar to, e-com, learning the marketing aspect of e-com versus brick and mortar is completely different. And so for me, it was a lot of trials and errors. I am somewhat old school. So going out there, paving the pavement, knocking on doors, putting out flyers, that came very natural for me. But transitioning into the e-com, it was a whole new world. And also into the beauty space was a whole new world. So there was a lot of learning curves. There was a lot of just, you know, it was night and day, you know. But the challenges for that came wasn't something that deterred me from, pursuing and continuing um, building the brand. So I put on my hat and just went all in and connected with the right people. I believe in, you don't have to know everything, but surrounding yourself with people that know more than you is what made the success of the brand thrive, you know. But for me, it was just a lot of different learning um, out of my comfort, kind of a thing.
Who was your support system through all of this?
Ooh. I would say my parents, number one. My mom, she's also an entrepreneur, and so it's leaning on her expertise with just knowing the good and the bad of entrepreneurship. Was definitely a great support for me. My children was a definitely support. I actually launched the brand with my daughter. That's where the brand idea came from. It was really to support her, her understanding of her hair, the education of what it meant for her texture, what her texture is. So the support came from family and friends, I might add. Yes. So I had a lot of support.
So, Natural Bunch Kids is a product that was used to also, since you say to teach children different hair textures. Growing up for you though, how was life? You know, especially with having such a more rougher hair texture.
For me, growing up, uh my hair wasn't a topic. It wasn't something that I understood as being different. This is just what I had. I didn't experience any type of opposition of how I felt about my hair. I always loved my hair. um you know so for me, it was through my daughter is when those conversations came up about hair, with her being in school, with predominantly Caucasian children, and her wanting to have her hair straightened on a regular basis. And I had to educate her about the different textures. And then that became a whole process, and then it made me reflect on the fact that I did not have those type of questions. I didn't want my hair straight all the time. I didn't experience what she was experiencing. So for me, it because of the confidence that I already had in my hair and in my texture, I was able to convey that to her and nurture her into wanting to learn even more about her texture, loving her hair, and embracing her curls. So,
Do you feel like, I'm trying to word this correctly without offending anyone, but
mhm.
do you feel like there's a lot of discrimination, you know, even when it comes to the different hairstyles? Because like I remember just being a kid, my hair used to be very long, but it was very
Mhm.
curly. And to me, I
Okay.
didn't like it because everyone used to like take my hair and like get it tangled and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so I always just felt like I chopped my hair off. I regret doing that. First of all,
Mhm.
100%.
Wow.
Um, but I also feel like a lot of people just look down upon on different types of hair and different hairstyles, and I feel like more recently it's become a bigger issue, like on
Definitely.
looks.
Definitely. I mean, across the country, you're having different discrimination cases of children being either bullied, or the adults that they're, surrounded by don't have the proper education as to, the hair and what it means to an African American child. Our hair is different. The discrimination is not only in the children, sector, but it's also in the adult, sectors as well. Not being able to wear your locks, your hair in a afro, braids, twists, that's considered non-professional. So for me, I do agree that it's a lot of discrimination, but there is a movement, one being with the Dove campaign, to stop the hair discrimination across the country. That's been in it has passed, but it's now going at the top, the very top level, to get passed across the country, so there wouldn't be any discrimination. But I think it starts with our children, making sure that they understand, that their hair is part of them, that they can wear their hair in different, different styles. It's a self-expression. And so yes, that is a movement, but we have to continue instilling in the children that their hair is just fine the way it is. It's great. It's not all this label, this negative label that has been put on it. You know what I mean? So it really is a job of parents to continue the movement with the children.
See, I want to ask as an educator as well as a mom and an entrepreneur, but do you feel like parents nowadays are a little more too lax with their children? So that's why we see like a lot of the teasing, a lot of the we can be honest, we see a lot of kids now that are more like very undisciplined, I guess you want to say.
Well,
The lack of I don't nah not undisciplined, like lack of respect more.
Well, when you say that, it brings me to the fact that we're in a different era, altogether. So there is a standard that's lessened now than it was then. You know what I mean? In terms of, just children just being able to just say and just do without, there's no consequences whatsoever, whether it's at home or outside of home. I think that there is a lax, but at the same time, the parent, they can't do but so much, right? They can't control their children outside of their home. So once that child is out in school, wherever, they're influenced, and I think the education is the key. Possibly having a class, a session in school teaching about, the differences and just us as a whole. You know what I mean? Yes, there is different textures. You have different color hair. We have freckles. There's so many differences. It's just teaching those children that it doesn't. None of that is worth bullying. Is worth teasing. So it's, yeah. I think it's a little bit different now than it was then. Yeah, it is.
So tell us about the actual product now. What is like well, for the people that will be watching this, what is it? We keep talking about it. We talk about the difference it's making, but the actual product.
The actual product is a set of specially curated ingredients by myself, for children. So it's a 10 product line. It's shampoo, conditioner, you name it, we have it. And it's specifically, for different, the different hair types. It doesn't include a lot of the harmful, any of the harmful ingredients that is on, it's on the market. And so it's products that addresses not only for dryness, for frizzy hair, but more so for hair growth, strengthening the hair, and just maintaining a healthy head of hair. We also included a vitamin, which is a biotin vitamin. Hair is healthy hair actually is from the inside out. You can't have healthy hair if you don't have all of the necessary nutrients. And a lot of children are picky, you know what I mean. They don't eat their vegetables, they choose and be picky. So we decided to include a gummy vitamin for that purpose. It's a multivitamin, and it adds the benefit of hair growth in the vitamins.
Is
So
the gummies, do they, how, what is the process of getting those approved, to give gummies that are have vitamins? Is there a specific process you have to go through for that?
yes, there is a specific process. It's definitely not something that is you just put together. So it is manufactured and approved lab and facilities, gone through all the testings, and so we're able to offer the gummies to the public.
Have you tried the product like on your own here? Have you,
Yes.
like, can adults use it as well? Like, I know it says natural bunch kids, but do adults actually like go and buy it?
I would say so, because I mean, what's good for your children, it's going to be great for you. So yes, adults can definitely use the products. They're great products for any age. But my specialty is, and my love is children. So that's where Natural Bunch Kids lane is. You know what I mean? But parents definitely can use the products.
What has been one of your success stories through the product?
One of my biggest success stories was validation from Master P. He basically received the products and reviewed the products and just was raving how we were on the right track. And coming from someone like Master P, a businessman who understands quality, who understands branding, it was a validation for me that we are going in the right direction. It gave us the push to continue, with what we're doing and how we're doing it. So that was a really big success for me.
In 2016, you started this. We are now in 2022. You have gotten validation from the highest of the highest. Your social media following is outrageous. Did you think you were gonna be here 5 years later, 6 years later?
No, I did not think that we were going to have the the support that we have had. And it comes from, I mean, Master P is one of them. We have Oprah's beauty director who also, has the products, uses the products on his daughter. We have Wyclef Jean, whose niece is an ambassador of the brand. We've made many, many, great collaborations. Parent Magazine awarded us 2021's best hair care products for kids.
That's
Um,
great.
Thank you, thank you. So it's a uphill. We're continue to push through whatever obstacle, whatever personal issues, or it's a journey, and so we're here to continue to make it happen, be in the children's in their homes, become a household name, right? And that's where we see Natural Bunch, moving into being a household brand, and the big retail chains. Um, there's no limit, no limit.
I saw on your website you were talking about how leaving the hair natural could be damaging sometimes. How?
Yes, for natural hair, it tends to be very tangly, especially when you leave it out into a fro, and the hair, the wind and the elements of the weather. It basically is is against us, you know? And so when you leave the natural hair out for some time, you're going to get a lot of tangles. So it's best that, okay, you want your ponytails, the most, I would say, you would leave a ponytail is about a week. After a week, it's downhill from there when it comes to the tangles and the knotting and the matting and things like that. So we just recommend that, you know, the less of a poof you have, the better for the moms.
So what would you suggest they use in a situation like that?
What we suggest is a lot of protective styles, a lot of different twists, braids. As I said, keeping the poof, the what do you call it, the afro styles to a minimum. And in that case, you still want to continue to moisturize. That also helps, but protective style is our number one go-to recommendations.
What's the hardest part of this job?
Wow, the hardest part. I think the hardest part is me being an introvert. I don't prefer to be on
I
camera.
feel this.
You
I
feel that?
understand this wholeheartedly.
Oh my gosh, you get it. Okay, I appreciate. I always tell people, it's a battle, and I didn't know that I had these type of anxieties and this particular thing, because I've always been behind the scenes. I've always been, like I said, brick and mortar. It's a little different.
Like
I
you
make
run,
it.
you build everything. You had built everything from the ground up, so you were so okay with being behind the scenes that when they
Yes.
tell you have to be in front of the scenes, you're like, "Yep."
Forget it. Forget it, Miss Ivy. It is the most struggle that I go through, going on live, doing even an interview. It's just you have to
Aren't you
kind of.
glad this is pre-recorded?
Oh, I'm so happy. I am so happy. You don't understand. But are you an introvert as well?
Yeah, I'm an um before I went into the media, I started off as a nightclub photographer.
Okay.
I That's how I made my way through college. It got me also through a lot of doors. That's how I
Okay.
ended up working in communications, but then I also teach photography under a Beacon program.
Okay.
So because my original degree was in history and
Hmm.
communications. Originally, I was gonna be go and work under the DOE. So
Okay.
glad I didn't do that though.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Wow. Wow. It and again, working with children comes very natural for me. It's a
Like
arena I
it's the
love.
kids. It's like when it comes to kids, they're different,
It's
right?
different.
All they do is they expect you to be there to
Yeah.
listen to them,
Yeah.
but to be fair with them. But
Yeah.
then when you go outside to the rest of the world, and
Uh,
excuse me for my language, everyone could be a shithead sometimes.
it's completely different. I love
It's a different environment. It's
it
harder.
is.
It gives more anxiety, and I totally understand that.
Yes, yes, it is. It's for me. I mean, I don't care what age I am. I would always be on the ground with a particular child, rolling around, having a good time. I prefer that
Right?
than. I do prefer that. So, I've been asked why we haven't expand into an adult line, and I'm like, no, never,
I want to
never.
be a kid at heart.
Yes, yes, and I am. So, but as in the social media space, you have to be forefront. You have to put yourself, out there and make the connection with your audience. And I struggle with that. I have to say, I do struggle with that. So, it's something when I do come out, forget about it. You're not going to be able to stop me. So
It's like a certain burst of energy, that temporary burst of energy until it
yeah.
fizzles out. Then you have to catch me later.
Yes, yes. So that is my biggest struggle. My biggest struggle is me.
Being that this is an open-ended, raw conversation, um, we went through the pandemic,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
You did all of this. You were also not only an educator for yourself, you made for your students. You also had to make sure your children did their homework. Had to make sure that your children were safe. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was my clock out alarm. My apologies.
That's okay.
You made sure your home was safe. You made sure your kids were safe. And then on top of that, you managed to have your company donate to hospitals and to essential care workers. But did anyone make sure through that whole process that Miss Betty was okay? Did you make
um,
sure Miss Betty was okay?
you know, as an entrepreneur, as moms, we wear so many hats. And one of the hats that we forget to put on is the hat of our identity and when we need, the self-care. So yeah, I can't tell you who made sure that I was okay, but I know I was okay. But aside from friends, close friends and family, you know, they somewhat don't have the clarity of how much it takes to run your business, and the ups, and the downs. So they can only do but so much. They can only give but so much. But the task was given to me. So I'm going to go through with, through anything that comes my way. You know what I mean? So I can't say I was completely supported, but I was supported. I wasn't left, in the dark somewhere.
So 6 years down, what does the next 6 years look like for you?
6 years later, I believe in speaking and things into existence and manifesting things. 6 years down the line, there's so much to come. With Natural Bunch Kids, Natural Bunch Empire, Natural Bunch Everything. um, just opening so many opportunities, for families. I'm a big supporter of supporting women. You know what I mean? Moms, single moms. Doing a lot of charity, giving back, and making just Natural Bunch a fun brand that children are just going to be recognizing, us anywhere that we are. So it's going to be a lot coming.
So I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me. I feel so honored to sit here with you.
Thank you.
Um, this went by so quick
It
on
did.
top of everything. Oh my God. Do you have any events coming up with Natural Bunch Kids?
We're in a process of actually launching something big. So
Oh, what? What?
we're working on something really big. And so we gotta we can't put it out there yet. We gotta keep it under wraps for a little bit while longer. But just stay tuned. There's always something up my sleeve, my creativity, my love for kids, and just having that wow factor for them when they see, what we have going on. So you'll be impressed.
Wow, I can't wait to find out. And I hope, once that happens, you do come back here and we get to talk about it.
Yes.
Um, in the meantime, where can they buy the product? Where can they find you? How can we support you from here at Raw Zone Media?
They can find us on naturalbunchkids.com. They can find us on all social media platforms, Natural Bunch Kids Hair Care. The way to support us is basically to talk about us, you know, to share us. The products may not be for you, the products may not, you know, cater to a particular hair type, but you know, the support doesn't have to be monetary. It could be just to say, you know, a comment, a share, um, just giving, letting us know that our community is growing.
That's awesome. So from here at Raw Zone Media, welcome to the Raw Zone Ivy Speaks. My name is Ivy. And remember, follow us everywhere at Raw Zone NYC. You can catch our replays on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, Amazon Music, or wherever you stream your podcast. And we're on demand on Dominus TV on the Fire Stick. And we are out.
Bye.